Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome here to Wyoming. Actually, this doesn't look too far off from what the Wyoming football stadium looks like in real life, the American football stadium, that is. And we are playing Wyoming in this game in what is a little bit more close to a actual real rivalry matchup. We should be able to dominate them in this one, though, and it looks like there are quite a few empty seats there, if this is rendering correctly. We're actually in second place right now with only 9 points out of 3 games because Fresno State has an extra game, which was a draw. They have 10 points. We have 9. And so we'll see how we do. We're going to win this match, though. I think it's pretty clear. Gallagher has it. Chris brings it up from the back over to Daly. Daly passes it back to Gallagher. Gallagher plays with it back to Daly, and it goes over to Korn. I hate it when we do that because as long as Korn gets onto the ball, I'm happy, but we're going to get an own goal against ourselves one of these days. Doe over to Sonhyun Tech to Gallagher. Gallagher, and then the highlight ends. What kind of highlight was that? Whatever. Their goalkeeper now with the ball, and he knocks this one forward, and they end up winning this in midfield. It's Fairs, something like that, has it, and Alpha Doe goes back and gets the interception over to Daly, back to Alpha Doe. Alpha Doe now with it, over to Daly, up to Silvis now, and it is intercepted, and they have an early chance, but Alpha Doe, fortunately for us, is able to win that one back. Grant Martin with a big pass to Aldana, who just runs past the keeper and scores the goal. Cesar Aldana has done that a lot. So this is kind of a tip for you in Football Manager 23. I've seen this a lot. I've seen it with other streamers and YouTube channels. If you can, get it so that your players are told to just dump the ball forward for a pacey striker, and this will happen every time, right? I mean, the defender was there neck and neck with him but couldn't get in front of him, and the goalkeeper had to make a decision, and no matter what, Aldana was going to score. 1-0 BYU. Gallagher now passing it back to Doe. Over there to Daly and back to Chris Gallagher. He finds Daryl Daly again. Back to Chris Gallagher, who will take this one up himself, and he has a pass forward looking for Martin, who gets a shot on it, but unfortunately the Wyoming keeper is able to get onto that one, and he lobs this forward back to Gallagher, over to Silvis to Daly. And it goes back to Gallagher, and I wonder why they don't try to actually build up play out of the back. Daly lumps this forward looking for Bowden, and Bowden kind of knocks it forward. I think he was looking to pass that one to Aldana, but unfortunately that was blocked from behind. And here is Torres for Wyoming with this free kick, and we're able to easily get that one out. Bowden has it now, and he runs forward with this ball, looking for a pass, trying to center this over to Aldana, I think, and there is the pass, and there's a goal, 2-0 BYU. Was he onside or not is another question, and that's going to be an interesting one to look at. But that was definitely a good decision there by Bowden, and he was offside. Is going to be disallowed. We'll take a look here at the replay this time because I'm not under so much meeting pressure. And yeah, Aldana is offside by at least a yard. That was the big question, right? Which was, did the defender move in front of him before or after the pass? And it was pretty clearly after the pass. Still 1-0 BYU. And this is another free kick for Wyoming, so this is kind of not what we wanted to see. And we have their entire team offside with that free kick, but not going to matter anyway because Korn is able to go back and grab that. And let's see what his distribution is like, and see we distribute it short, and then when we do that, then we can have our center back just move the ball up himself, and the computer doesn't know how to defend against it. Gallagher still with the ball. This time passes it back to Alpha Doe, and Alpha Doe over to Chris Gallagher again, over to Daly. Daryl is stripped of the ball and intercepted again, and it's Wyoming here on the attack. And they have it there on the right side, and this is where our lack of wingbacks can hurt us. And fortunately for us, they decide to cross it forward instead of trying to shoot from that right side. If they would try to focus attack on one side of the pitch, they would find that the other side would be wide open because we only have 3 center backs. We don't have any wingbacks. We don't have any sort of fullbacks at all. And you can see this here if you look into what happens, right? I mean, anyway, if you don't try to center that in the middle, then you're fine. If you bring it down instead the side, then we have to react, and you could open up the defense pretty wide if you tried that. But it doesn't look like the computer is going to figure that one out. Daly with a attempted goal, but can't quite get the shot onto it because that ball is just a little bit in front of him. And boy, they have somebody open right in the midfield. It's Connors who's wide open. Fortunately for us, he tries to take a shot by himself. The explanation on the bottom says it was brilliant from Connors. I don't know how brilliant it was for him to shoot it from, a mile away. If he had slowed it down a little bit, taken advantage, and thought about what he was doing, it would have been a little bit more brilliant. And Sonhyun Tech with a bad pass, and they have another one of these counterattack opportunities. There's Connors again, and Gallagher with a dangerous tackle, can't quite get onto it. Unfortunately for us, Connors decides to shoot into the side netting. That's one of those shots that people used to complain about back in Football Manager 20, if you remember that. Daryl Daly is injured. This doesn't look good. And we're going to put Amutenya on for him. And back in FM 20, I remember people complaining about guys just lumping the ball into the side netting. And we'll see what happens. Daryl Daly I'm not sure if he's injury prone or not. We can go take another look at him, but he certainly has been injured a lot so far this season. Grant Martin with the shot on goal, but that goes once again into the 10th row. And let's see what happens from here on out. Bowden now with the free kick looks forward for Aldana, and that one's knocked up into the air and it hits off of the woodwork. It's amazing. I think it would be harder to hit the woodwork than it would be to score a goal from that angle. But whatever. Son Hyun-taek with the ball passes it back to Do. Alpha Do takes this up himself. And you can see what somebody in the comment section was mentioning, that the computer doesn't know what to do. Aldana with a great header in, and that's going to be onside. He was saying that the computer manager and these defensive players don't know what to do if you have a defender just bring the ball up like that. See, Alpha Do brings it up, and nobody's even marking him. They're just sort of standing back. Right, and that is wide open for us. And, Aldana's onside, and that's the easiest header he'll ever have. 2-0 BYU, 2 goals from Aldana. This is what we're used to seeing, and let's see if we can keep up the pressure. Fares with it over to McHale. And, let's see what we can do. And they're just going to lump it forward a little bit. And they haven't figured out here that if they play it on the wing and come a little bit closer, then things will open up. I don't know why, but they don't seem to be able to understand that part. So whatever. Again, I wouldn't say that this tactic is so much a cheater tactic as Grant Martin scores his 6th goal this season. That's a pretty clear goal for him. That's pretty good. I wouldn't say this is so much a cheater tactic as it is just a tactic that takes advantage of the inability of the computer to see something that would be, I think, pretty obvious to everybody else. So, there you go. It's not so much of an exploit as it is just saying, okay, well, we know that, in other versions of the game, wing play was overpowered. And in this version, apparently having the defense take the ball up themselves is overpowered. So we'll just focus on that. So much for the, idea that, this stuff is completely unrealistic and would never happen. Now, this probably would never work in real life. But in Football Manager life, it actually seems to work pretty well. Something to keep in mind when you try to make your own tactic. It's Son Hyun-taek now over to Bowden. Bowden down to Silvas. He has a shot on goal that just goes over, and that was a good shot on target. So let's see what happens now. And let's see what happens. Aldana now with the ball, and he passes forward to Martin. It's going to be another goal. Man, that's a good save by Lockley. That should have been another goal from Martin. Grant Martin with an absolute sitter right in front of the goal, and I don't know how he ended up not dumping that one away. And it should have been offside, I think, there on us as the corner taker got it from the just right over the touchline. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. That's going to be the end here of the half. And I'm not sure what we're seeing a highlight of exactly here. Oh, I see what this is. Yeah, this is Aldana waiting for Martin here. This was a couple minutes ago, actually. And Martin had the entire goal, especially that left side, right wide open in front of him, and he just didn't take it. So whatever. We've had a lot of shots on target. So all those changes to the things you can say to players are supposed to make it so that you would say something different every time. But, whatever. You're going to say the same thing every single time. And here we go. We'll start the second half now after making our one change. And Wyoming will come back with the ball. But I don't think this is going to last too long for them. Now, I will say this about the guy who created the database. At least he got the colors right. There are a lot of other problems with the database. But the colors look pretty good. That's pretty good. Bowden with the ball now, down to Son Hyun-taek. Son Hyun-taek lumps this one forward for Martin, who is way offside. And not quite sure what that was supposed to be, but whatever. We're a little bit too excited there. We need to, I think, slow it down a little bit. A little bit of graphical glitching there as Amutenya had that ball. It ends up with Son Hyun-taek, who dumps that over everyone's head anyway, so much for that. Ferris now for Wyoming with this over to Connors. Connors down to McHale, and Alpha Do is able to get a foot onto it, and it's up to Chris Gallagher looking for Aldana. Can't find him. Chris Gallagher again over to Amutenya, back to Gallagher. Amutenya now with the ball over to Bowden. Bowden over to Aldana. Aldana runs the wrong way. That'll do it. That'll confuse him. Son Hyun-taek with the pass forward, and he's had a lot of really, really poor passes forward in this game that have been intercepted. Do gets it, Amutenya to Silvas. Silvas lumps this one to nobody. And The problem is, I know that there are problems with these players, but we can't just get rid of them because there's nobody else for us to get, right? That's the thing. You can only get 4 players in a transfer window. Our next transfer window opens up next July. It's October right now. So, I mean, it's just not going to happen. Torres now knocks this one, looking for Son Heung-taek. Can't quite find him, and that's the end of that. But yeah, I mean, Son Heung-taek, as much as I'd like having a South Korean player, is probably not good enough to play on the squad. Bowden is just not able to win that header in midfield, and Wyoming now has the ball, but Matt Williams is able to grab it off of the offensive player. It's passed eventually over to Aldana. Aldana does a few moves on his own part over to Mutenya, who finds Bowden, and Bowden probably should have passed the one back to Aldana, who was wide open. I don't think he saw him. Wyoming now with this ball, and it's up to Connors again, who looks forward for their striker Abaroa, who is offside by maybe about half a yard, maybe like 2 feet, 1.5 feet, something like that. And see, right here is where Almatenia is just wide open right behind you. If you pass it back, because you have 4 defenders who are chasing after you, if you pass it back a little bit, that would be a clear goal, and it would be a hat trick. But I guess he wanted to do it himself. Silvas with it now. Looks for Solana over to Martin. Martin knocks this forward to Bowden, to Silvas, to Aldana. Aldana again moving backwards with it, and nothing happens. It's Alfredo now. Alfredo takes this ball, and it's just totally stripped from him. And I mean, he gets it back, which is pretty good, but it's over to Montoya, who is the Wyoming attacker. And, I mean, just a poor bit of playing from Alfredo. And fortunately for us, Chris Gallagher is able to sacrifice the body to get in front of that one and cause enough chaos to prevent a goal from being scored. So we're doing okay, but we're not doing wonderfully as Torres goes back to take this corner. And this ball is up, and Korn is only able to fist it out, not able to catch it. And we want him to catch that instead of hitting it out. But unfortunately for us, it goes over for a goal kick anyway, and it's almost like nothing ever happened. We're having a couple of problems here, I think, with this defense. Chris Gallagher fortunately was able to get in front of that one, and that was enough of a problem to prevent a goal from being scored, or really a shot on goal. This team has some defensive issues, absolutely. Gallagher over to Amutenya, over to Bowden, and he lumps it forward for Aldana, and Aldana is not quite able to do anything with it. It's Silvas with it now. Silvas lumps this one forward, looking for Solano, can't quite find him. Son Heung-taek, though, able to go back onto it, over to Doe. Alfredo passes this back to Chris Gallagher. Gallagher looks forward, finds Amutenya. Amutenya with the hard pass over to Martin, ends up with Aldana, who takes a shot on goal, and it's high and wide. So it was all right. That's one way to work it forward, I suppose. I think I'm supposed to be really impressed by all of our XG or whatever we're getting, but I'm mostly frustrated by players who are not playing as well as they could be. That was a good shot there by Wyoming, and Korn is able to make the save and hold on. He is going, it looks like, to go deep. No, he instead throws it over to Matt Williams on the left side. Matt Williams takes this one up himself. And as you can see, again, all of the defenders just totally back off of him. It's interesting how that works, and I'm not sure I understand why. Aldana now with the ball, and nothing but defenders around him. He passes it back to Solano, who takes a shot from range. Not necessarily a bad idea, but I don't think that, what's his first name, that Solano is quite capable of scoring a ball from that distance. But, it's worth a shot. It's Fares for Wyoming over to Baroa, and he passes over to Connors, who had that one squared up, and I don't know how he missed that. That's the second time we've seen this Connors kid try one of these shots in this match where he really should have scored. You know what, should have been out for a corner because it was off the back of our own player, but they call that a goal kick anyway. There are still problems, as you can see, with the graphical match engine of Football Manager, and stuff that is clearly one way that's called the other, and you're not quite sure why, but whatever, that's the way that it works. Aldana must be offside. He's got to be offside by about a yard or two. And, we'll see what happens. Maybe he was miraculously onside. Maybe there was some sort of phantom defender. Maybe the ref gets this one wrong. But no, it's disallowed for offside, just as I thought. I thought that was pretty obvious, actually. Because this is his problem, right? He's moving forward. Nobody else is around him, and he's just a little bit too anxious. He's too happy to go over and get that. The problem with Aldana is that he's not a kid, right? He's not going to get better at this. He's like 28, I think, or 27. Martin with it. Grant Martin, and he has it stripped from him in the penalty area. It's Montoya now. Lumps this one forward, and Connors is going to end up with it. No, we actually end up knocking it back, and it's Martin who gets it over to Bowden. Bowden lumps this one again forward, looking for Aldana. Doesn't happen. Martin tries to head it forward and wins another header. Tons of headers won by Martin in that little stretch. It's Matt Williams with it now. Matt Williams moves forward, and he's going to cross. He's going to cross. You know it. And there's that little sweet cross to Aldana, and I think a defender's foot got in front of that. That was going to be the easiest goal you ever saw. And Bowden's going to take this free kick. This lumps up, looking for Gallagher, can't quite find him. That's knocked back, though, for another corner. And so here comes the next corner, and it's going to be Bowden taking this. And he steps back and fires forward, looking for Sonny Tech, who gets a head onto it, but it's over everybody's head for a goal kick. We'll take another quick look at this and see what happened here. You knew that Williams was going to cross, looking for the cross, and he has this beautiful cross that's a little bit backwards, looking for Aldana, who just tries to stick that one in, and unfortunately for him, the defender saw it and was able to make the block in time. Moutinho with the throw now over to Silvas. Silvas takes and moves up to somebody, Bowden now with it, and he lumps a shot over that's headed back to Solano. I'm not quite sure what the defenders are thinking there. Over to Williams now, and he passes it to Gonzalez, the defender. So that was good, Matt. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. Connors now with it over to Ferres. Ferres over to Montoya to Connors. Abora over to Ferres. Ferres passes this down to Gonzalez again, who's been all over the place, and Gonzalez needed to center that one. If he centers the pass, that would have been a goal. Instead, he decides to take a shot from a poor angle and lumps that over everyone's head. It's Almutenia now to Bowden. Bowden back to Almutenia. Almutenia over to Gallagher. Gallagher walks a little bit, dekes one way, dekes the other, passes to Almutenia over to Korn. Korn now passes it to Doe. Doe lumps this one over to Matt Williams. Matt Williams with it, looks forward and moves forward himself over to Solano, over to Williams again. You can see the defense just playing off of these guys who like to take the ball up themselves. I'm not sure why. Bowden with it now, over to Aldana, and that's a good save by the goalkeeper again. Still 3-0 BYU, and we should have more points, but it's going to take us a while. Chris Gallagher here with the header, and that's going nowhere. And so, yeah, I guess we can take another look at this quickly and see what happened here. Bowden with the nice cross to Aldana. But once again, that good defender by Wyoming is able to get his foot out in front of it and gets the timing just right. So Aldana a little bit frustrated here looking for that hat trick, and it's just not coming. We got about 12, 13 minutes left in this match. Gallagher takes this one up himself. Once again, when you see these center backs taking it up themselves, nobody wants to get on them no matter how far up they go. See, you can walk this one up all day long over to Solano, and that's when the defense starts coming. Solano numps this one forward to Martin, and his pass back to Solano is an interesting choice, and somebody's offside. Yeah, it's either a goal kick or someone's offside. I think that Aldana probably, again, was actually offside here, and I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. No, he wasn't. There was a defender back there, but it ends up turning into nothing anyway. It doesn't matter one way or another. And we have about 10 minutes left in this match, and let's see what happens. There's this pass forward that finds Martin. I'm not sure if that was us or them that lumped this one forward. Aldana now with it over to Almutenia, back-footed, and that forces a really, really good save by the Wyoming defender. And that was pretty good by Almutenia, and that was an excellent sort of back-footed pass to set him up. Bowden now with this looks forward, looking for Gallagher, but the goalkeeper is able to go grab that one, and it's Wyoming with the attack, and it's going to be over to Connors, and fortunately for us, Gallagher is on it, over to Almutenia to Bowden. Bowden walks this one up slightly over to Martin, and he's cleanly tackled by Watts. Abaroa now over to Connors. Connors looks forward, looks to cross it over to Abaroa again. There you go. And fortunately, again for us, Abaroa decides to take a shot from range. We did block it, so that ends up being a corner. But we'll let them take those low percentage shots all day long. Montoya now with the corner, and we're going to be able to get rid of this one. I've realized this has been a pretty long video, hasn't it? Montoya now with this little free kick. He's going to lump this one forward, looking for somebody over to Abaroa, and we're able to keep it out, and that was a good save by Korn. Connors, as the ball just taken away from him by Bowden, over to Almutenia, now to Aldana. Aldana, not much of a counterattack when there's 5 of them and 1 of you. Bowden with it now. Bowden will look down, looks for a pass. Now he's going to cross this himself, I think, and he does cross it himself, and that is prevented by a good save, and it took a good save to prevent that pass from hitting its intended target. That would have been 4-0 BYU. Gallagher now feints and fakes and tries to dupe people out of it, and then back to Korn, and with Gallagher again, makes a few little moves, and then over to Alpha Doe, and Alpha Doe again, when he walks forward, nobody's there. Gallagher, and I wonder if they're not trying to key Chris Gallagher now, who's having a great match. Matt Williams, and you can see that pressure is just not there. Over to Alpha Do again, and nobody wants to pressure him. Nobody seems to care, and he lumps it forward to Aldana, who scores his hat trick. And I'm not sure what happened to Lockley, the Wyoming goaltender there. Looks like he jumped out of the way. We'll take a look at this replay here. That was coming, and Aldana was looking for that hat trick. But see, nobody's on Alpha Do, so he just lumps this one forward. It's timed just perfectly. And the goalkeeper doesn't know where he is, doesn't know where the ball is. He may have seen something in the lights or something like that. I don't know. So Aldana here is onside. He is barely onside because of the defender there on his right-hand side, who's a little bit further back than he's supposed to be. And we are going to win this match. We're just going to see out the final seconds here. 4-0 BYU with the deserved win, and Aldana with another hat trick. And that's the way that this one goes down. We dominated everything, XG and possession and chances and everything else you can think of. And even still, though, they did come close to scoring a goal, so we can't get too complacent. We do have some defensive problems. Hope you're having a good day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.